It's Dominic D'Angelo. I'm of adfreeshows.com, SEScoops.com, and brassringmedia.com. Check it out. But it's Rumor Innuendo. It's a Wednesday. Guess what that means? We got a lot to talk about. I'm here with Robert Karpelis, WE Creative _ish. Robert, happy Wednesday to you. Some big news coming down the pipeline this morning, huh?
Nothing like starting my day at 6 a.m. and seeing all of the exciting news going on that the WWE streaming deal is now with ESPN, which is just, it's wild for me to think about, just because I was part of the infancy of the WWE network. And building what all of that was ultimately going to be. And this idea that there was going to be a singular streaming destination location for people to be able to watch WWE pay-per-views and PLEs, as opposed to paying an insane amount of money every month to watch those pay-per-views through completely legal means. Wink. Nobody ever watched the scrambled pay-per-views as kids, or had a friend that had a black box, and the only reason you were friends with that kid was because they had a black box, Nathan Warren, and we would go over to his house and have to endure his weird menagerie of goofy friends just because you really wanted to see King of the Ring 1994. There's a lot to unpack. There's a lot to get into. We'll say hi to some of the folks who are joining us here. Christopher Zanto says, good morning, Rumor writes. I always love Christopher Zanto's picture with the two fingers. It's got a Billy Mays feel to it. Like he's about to show you a ShamWow or a Snuggie, and it's going to change your life. Wrestling Old Head says, good after morning to all WWE fans outside of the U.S. are rejoicing. They are, because the international Netflix deal is not being impacted by this. Tony Gong says, be prepared to have more detailed recaps on Monday, because I'm not paying all that. Not a unique take. I've seen that a couple times. Ron Ward says, ESPN is literally the reason I canceled my cable.
Wow.
And then he said, Robert, stop harping on Scott.
What's going on? You harping on Scott?
I don't know what I'm doing to Scott. I don't know what I did. All right. Let's get into the economics of all of this.
Yes.
Because that's really where all of this lies. This is WWE had the Peacock deal, and I don't have the numbers for me. I believe they were getting $180 million a year for the streaming rights. The ESPN deal is almost triple that. Which means a couple of things. Number one, like we've talked about a lot recently, up to and including 2 nights of SummerSlam instead of 1, they don't care about you. They care about profits. They are a publicly traded company in TKO who owns WWE. They are all about maximizing profits. So if you need to figure out why this is happening, there's a pretty clear answer right there. Peacock isn't going to have the money to keep WWE regardless. They've got the NBA deal. And by the way, Peacock was about to raise its rate to be the most expensive streaming service that was available. I believe they were jumping to $16.99 a month or something like that for Peacock, where, if we're perfectly honest, unless you're watching the Office reruns, why else were you watching Peacock?
That's it, right?
Poker Face is a fine show. You can watch it on JetBlue flights and get through an entire season in an up and back trip to New York. So you're generally going to be okay. The ESPN partnership with WWE has been something that's been in existence for quite some time. There was the number of years where WWE personalities were appearing on ESPN programming. Max, you got to stop. Then you had situations where they were broadcasting live from SummerSlam, or they were at WrestleMania and they were doing special sports centers from there. ESPN obviously now is sort of part of the Disney umbrella. There's some questions about what that ultimately is going to look like, but ESPN's been in acquisition mode, getting more NFL rights. Obviously, they have the existing partnership with UFC. They have a great long-term working relationship with Nick Khan. Yeah. So a lot of these line nicely for WWE. There's the numbers piece that I know people are very sensitive about. That Peacock, as it stands now, I believe was about $10 or $11 a month. The ESPN streaming service is going to be $30 a month. Which is a big ask for someone who's been used to paying the $9.99 a month for WWE Network and then the $9.99 a month for Peacock. Those of us older school fans know that a single PLE was $30 to $50 for a pay-per-view every month. Yeah. And it wasn't like you were getting SummerSlam. You were getting, in your house, Beware of Dog. And the second in your house, Beware of Dog, when they remember to turn the lights on. Are they aware that people are going to find circuitous routes to still watch WWE programming, that they can, watch wrestling? Wink. Don't Google that. Don't Google watch wrestling. At any website it takes you to, we do not endorse any of that.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Exactly. I have never listened to Scott Chaplin and caught an AEW pay-per-view through that. That's immoral and wrong. AEW still does charge full boat for their pay-per-views. And fans are paying for them. So in WWE mind, if instead of getting $10 a month for the subscription service, they're not paying $30 a month, and if even half of those people say we're not sticking with it, WWE is still coming out ahead. And you're driving people to this ESPN platform that they are going to leverage for broader live sports across the board. There are people who get, ESPN Plus right now, and they're paying $10 a month. And I'm held hostage by getting ESPN Plus for the once a year that there might be a Gator game that's not aired on television. And I just have it as part of my, bundle with Hulu and Disney. They also announced today Hulu is going away. It's folded into Disney Plus. So the ecosystem for streaming is shrinking. If you're a wrestling fan on a macro level, you're happy about the fact that WWE is seen as such a valuable property that Disney is paying $1.5 billion for this property. A massive sum of money. On the other hand, it's going to cost the individual wrestling fan an additional $20 a month more than they were spending in the US. So WWE hopefully is going to find a way to make that value worth it.
Robert, that's the big concern, I think, is making it worth it. I mean, when you are baptized into it for $9.99 a month, and then it maybe hikes up to like $11.99 a month when Peacock comes around, then it's a high expectation, especially when the streaming services are so oversaturated. People are paying for this here and that here. And now you have to be concerned about Netflix. You have to be concerned about how you're going to watch USA Network and get SmackDown at the same time. And then you have to also think about, the new ESPN platform, which is a big ask, I think, for fans right now.
It depends on what you choose to prioritize. There's a number of streaming services. I'm guilty of, I think I have just about all of them for one reason or another. Plus, I have live cable because I'm 1,000 years old. In part because I have, younger kids who are going to want to watch Disney programming live. I like to watch sports live when they're happening. And I watch USA, and it's there and ready to go. Do I watch network programming very often? Not really. And if I needed to, I've got, Paramount Plus so I can watch Big Brother without having to watch commercials. I've got the, Netflix, because who on this planet doesn't have Netflix? It became sort of essential. And Hulu and Disney were just sort of easy add-ons. And then Peacock is solely to be able to watch WWE programming. It's not user-friendly. It doesn't load well. It's not easy. But it is somewhat bundled for Xfinity.
Right. But like you think about all that adding up, it's like for any Joe Schmo that's out there, it might be a wrestling fan. But I mean, you think about trying to attend live events and how the price point has gone up when there and going to the live events going on, the PLEs, like attending them. It's a very, very expensive product. It's beginning to get to watch.
Well, but this is where it's a post hoc argument, because wrestling was an expensive endeavor for you to get into. When we were kids, the price point for a pay-per-view was massive. It's why I've always talked about Tony Khan's disconnect with wrestling, because growing up, the son of a billionaire, he got to watch all the pay-per-views all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Most of us didn't have that luxury and an opportunity where you could go to your mom and dad and say, hey, I want to spend 20, 30, 40 bucks a month and $90 to watch a pay-per-view. When it's like, well, you could just wait and then rent it at Blockbuster a month or two later.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Robert, it's going to be interesting. I'm going to see. At some point, I just keep thinking the bubble is going to burst for WWE. Where like they're making money and it's all coming in now, but at some point or another, with the economy how it is, how people are kind of struggling, meeting paycheck to paycheck. You think about our generation and worrying about rent and worrying about like trying to get a house. It's a lot of things to think about.
Yes, but this is not WWE creating its own platform for $30 a month.
Mm-hmm.
This is bandwagoning onto an ESPN platform that one of the few things people will still always tune in for are live sports.
Sure.
It's been the thing that's been keeping cable afloat and alive. So if ESPN is moving more and more of their live sport content to a streaming platform, someone's going to say, you know what? If I'm going to spend my $30, I'm going to spend it on this. And if I get the WWE stuff, great. It's a nice add-on. Or someone's going to say, I'm going to spend $30 a month for the WWE stuff, but look at all the sports that I'm getting. It's a nice add-on.
Mm-hmm.
The $30 price point did surprise me, because I think people have gotten used to a $10 or a $15 a month spend. But with Hulu going away, all right, I can supplant one for the other and I'm good, and I'm still going to get all the content on Disney Plus. Or now I don't need to keep Peacock around, because what else am I getting outside of, I know they had that new Office show that's coming to Peacock.
Right. Well, Robert, this is an early question on. So $30 a month. Are you getting just WWE stuff, or you're getting the whole ESPN?
No, you get the whole platform. You get the whole streaming piece.
Okay, so
I believe that it's going to include something with NFL Red Zone. I haven't really gotten to dig fully into it, but there's going to be probably football NFL games that are exclusive on the ESPN platform. I'm sure there's going to be NHL games, since they have the NHL rights, that are going to be exclusive to the ESPN platform. So they're going to find a way to press you to make you want to spend that money.
Right. Well, Pat McAfee added some interesting comments. I don't know if you saw this, but he tweeted out.
I did not see what Pat had to say.
Okay, here's what he had to say, Robert. This was a little bit after the deal was done. Maybe 20 minutes ago he made this. He said, congrats to WWE and ESPN on getting a historic PLE deal done. Great to see two powerhouses of sports and entertainment come together. I assume all the mid-level, powerless, bum-ass suits at ESPN will attempt to muddy this somehow, out of context leaks / ignorant anonymous opinions, etc. But in the end, this agreement will outlive the dinosaurs currently guarding desks in Bristol, and this deal will be great for ESPN. Cheers to the future. So Pat's kind of showing his tension that he has with some of the ESPN suits right now as well.
Well, that's not a right now thing. I would recommend, if you have not read it, Tom Shales has a great book called Those Guys Have All the Fun.
Mm-hmm,
It is an oral history of ESPN, and it shows that since day one, ESPN has been littered with useless mid-level executives who have taken something big and ruined it. Mm-hmm. It's always been the case. So yeah, Pat's going to be upset because ESPN made this soulless shift away from creating personalities to making the brand more important, which is what WWE stole. If you grew up in the 90s with ESPN, you had your SportsCenter anchors that you loved. You had Stuart Scott, you had Rich Eisen, Keith Olbermann, Dan Patrick. You had your combinations of guys that were essential viewing, and that was how you furthered your love of sports. My favorite television show of all time is Sports Night, which is a fictionalized version of what happened behind the scenes at SportsCenter. ESPN ultimately realized if the brand is bigger than the individuals, we don't have to pay the individuals all that much money. And that's why you had Rich Eisen go off and go do his own thing, or Dan Patrick go off and do his own thing. and they feel like we can just make more stars over time. And what you're tuning in for is the flagship, is the brand, is SportsCenter. It's what WWE did with superstars, and no superstar is bigger than the WWE hierarchy. So it is fun to watch how these entities learn from one another and shift the ecosystem. And you are now faced with an option. If you don't want to spend the $30 a month for the ESPN platform, you can still watch Raw, you can still watch SmackDown. You're still going to get the gist of what happened on those PLEs. And if there's one that catches your eye, you subscribe for a month or you don't. AEW has taken its gamble by charging you for their 4 to now, I think they're up to how many, 7 pay-per-views a year?
Maybe more.
And they are not inexpensive.
Not at all.
So, what was strange about the Max deal was I thought for sure we were going to reach a point in time where AEW pay-per-views were going to stream live on Max, either at a discounted price or free, like right off the bat. That didn't happen. They are content with, we're going to give you 5 hours of programming or 6 hours of programming or 9 hours of programming for a pay-per-view, and that has its inherent value, and that's what you're going to pay for. I don't know what their buys necessarily are, versus if their pay-per-views were streaming and they said, all right, I'm paying for Max, and for an extra $5 a month, you get this extra tier where you get the AEW things. I bet you there's a lot more fans that'd be willing to go spend that.
For sure. Yeah. Man, what an interesting landscape. It's a frustrating landscape at the same time, because like you mentioned it speaks to the fading of stars. Like we grew up like with all those personalities, and like how much I loved Around the Horn back in the day, and PTI, and sure, you still got some of that stuff.
PTI was the all-timer.
Yeah.
That was literally the format of that this show was originally going to be, and then it's turned into, this.
Tech difficulties galore.
Tech difficulties. I do like. There's a point that Lou 4237 points out. He goes, "I think they're overestimating the overlap in fandom. A lot of ESPN viewers don't want fake wrestling, and as a wrestling fan, I DGAF, which we know what that stands for, about ESPN. That's literally the point, Lou. That they have now found a way to steal from both camps. As a wrestling fan who doesn't care about sports, you're going to subscribe to watch the PLEs. As a sports fan who doesn't care about wrestling, they're going to pay for sports. And if you like both, like Dom and I, this isn't that bad of a deal." It was sort of the original idea behind Max merging Warner Discovery's platforms, that you got the one side of people who are going to enjoy HGTV and Food Network and Discovery Channel, and then the other side, they're going to enjoy the HBO programming and the Turner programming and the Cartoon Network stuff. Put it all on one platform. There's something for everybody, or there's something for nobody. But I think that a lot of fans are rightfully upset today, and they feel screwed. And guys,
Hey.
If you want your gal to feel like she just found out she's paying $30 a month for ESPN, can we talk to you about Blue Chew? Blue Chew isn't just a tablet, it's a cheat code for your crotch. Stronger, harder, longer lasting, like someone gave your downstairs a pep talk and a gym membership. Blue Chew is the original brand offering chewable tablets for better sex. This isn't just about performance, it's about legacy, or third leg. See, every time I read that line, it's brutal, but that's what they asked me to do. Give her group chat something to talk about. When you lay it down, they're talking about how it gets up. Nothing makes you more of a legend than a little Blue Chew. Discover your options at BlueChew.com, and we've got a special deal for our listeners. As always, get your first month of Blue Chew free. Just use promo code RUMOR at checkout and pay $5 shipping. That's it. Join Blue Chew's mission to upgrade humanity one thrust at a time. Head to BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. We thank Blue Chew for sponsoring this episode of the Warner Discovery WWE ESPN Rumor and Innuendo, brought to you by Netflix.
Wow. It's a lot to take in. Hey, what was a lot to take in was this past weekend, Robert. I got a split bevy of interviews going on, and one of those was Charlotte Flair. So I wanted to air this for everybody here today. My Charlotte Flair interview. and we can
I'm
talk
so
about it.
excited about this in part because I want to see if you're actually able to figure out how to do this.
You watch it. Okay, here we go. Boom. All right. Step
Whoa.
1. Yes.
Whoa.
And then we got step 2, which is this. And then we got step 3. Here we go.
This is Dominic D'Angelo of Ad Free Shows. Oh, that's not my mic. Never mind. Oh, okay. I thought it was mine. Hey, everybody, this is Dominic D'Angelo, Brass Ring Media, Rumor and Innuendo. I'm happy to be here with Charlotte Flair. Charlotte, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Not too bad. So you get to open up a little bit more, it seems, with Alexa, teaming up with her.
Yes.
You have a good sense of humor. Where do you get your comedic aspects from? Who have you kind of chosen from that you get your sense of humor?
Oh.
Comedians or anybody?
No, I'm not funny. I'm just, it's easy. It's easy to make fun of myself.
Well, let's say that.
There you go.
What comedies and stuff do you like? Because that can,
what comedies do I
yeah,
like?
we're kind of with that kind of you get that vibe out a little bit.
I'm like trying to think of the lot. Like, all the comedies are old.
I know, right? There's no new
I'm like
good
Mrs.
comedies anymore.
Doubtfire,
That's a
Dumb
good
and
one.
Dumber.
Yeah.
Planes, Trains, and
Yeah, there
Automobiles.
you go.
They're
Right.
so old. I'm trying to think of like, what are new? Give me some.
There isn't a good new comedy right now, I don't think.
Oh, there's like a series on Netflix that was really cute. The couple. The
Was it
Jewish
Love?
Guy and the girl.
Love?
Yes, Love.
Yes, I
So
watched
that was really good.
That was
cute.
good.
That was cute.
That was really good. All right. Moment of like when you interact with Alexa and teaming up. How is that aspect of being a tag team in comparison since you've been singles for so long?
Had you have asked me this like maybe even like a year ago, I'd be like, no, I only like being alone. Like,
Right.
I like being by myself. I like the spotlight, whatever. But like with her, it doesn't feel like I'm even competing for it. It's just like, oh, I actually like being with her. Like,
Yeah.
I like having someone out there with me, and it doesn't even feel like, ugh, it's her time, it's my time. It's just like, oh no, like this is really fun.
Right.
So yeah,
Good dynamic there.
yeah.
Somebody else has good dynamic.
But I
Conrad.
don't know if it could have been with another person. Like,
Yeah.
it's just like it specifically just really works well with her.
Kind of like the strange bedfellows kind of aspect of it.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, when it comes into play. Somebody else, good dynamic is Conrad. What's your best Conrad story?
Conrad,
Yes.
my brother-in-law.
Yeah. I work with, yeah.
What's the best story?
Yeah.
Oh, he tried to get me to buy a yacht with him.
What?
I'm like, sir, no. I'm absolutely not.
No.
Yeah, no.
No way. I wouldn't do it either.
No. I'll rent yachts.
I'll check them out.
I'll check them out, yeah.
I'll ride on them, but that's
Yes.
it. Well, cool. Well, thanks for taking the time.
No,
to
my
do this.
pleasure.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Good to see you.
You too.
All right. Robert, your thoughts?
The name of the show
Uh-huh.
is Nobody Wants This. Not Love was a totally different show.
Wait, what? It
Love
was Love?
Love was the Jillian Jacobs show.
Yes.
That was several years ago. She was talking about Nobody Wants This with Adam Brody and Kristen Bell, which is a fantastic show.
Oh, you didn't like Love?
Love was good, but that was several years ago. She was talking about this show with that Jewish fellow. Bless her heart. Also, people are pointing out here.
Uh-huh.
I got to go with Wrestling Old Head's comment. I had no idea Charlotte Flair was as tall as Omos, because as we all know, Dominic D'Angelo is 6'9", and Charlotte was towering over you. It is cool that you filmed your Make-A-Wish. I thought that was really sweet, and hopefully they cure whatever's ailing you. She did come alive at the end of the Conrad question, which was good. First of all, I love Conrad. He's a good dude. We were texting when Hogan passed. The thought of even getting on a yacht with Conrad scares me. Just based on physics.
Oh, I got you.
Just based on physics. But speaking of sinking ships, Dynamite's tonight.
It is tonight, Robert.
That's not fair. That's not fair. Dynamite's been very good of late. They've been doing production meetings. It's been run well. They've been at Casa Bonita for the last 2 months. What's on tap for our friends at All Elite Wrestling?
Well, Robert, we got several matches on tap here, including MJF taking on Mark Briscoe. So that is one of the headline matches. What do you expect?
Who's taking on Mark Briscoe?
That would be MJF.
Never heard of him.
Never heard of him?
There's a guy who looks suspiciously like him who was in the Happy Gilmore movie, but then made a disparaging joke about lawyers in that film. And then I may have messaged that individual to be like, dude, what the hell? And he's like, you know who I was thinking of when I said that line. And I was, so I don't know who Mark Briscoe is facing. But you know, that's where we're at. Look, yes, big match, great match. They're clearly trying to deliver a strong main event. I'm excited about it.
Are you excited about the AEW Tag Team Title Eliminator Tournament semifinal? It is the Young Bucks, Matt Jackson and Nick Jackson, taking on Brodito. That's Bandito and Brody King.
Yeah, I think that'll be that should be a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed this random Bandito Brody King team that's been thrown together. Dre Owens asked, you guys talk about the backstage frustrations with the Hurt Syndicate?
No, we haven't. Do you know about that, Robert?
I saw one small piece of it, but feel free to elaborate further. I know there was a thing where the MVP didn't like Speedball Mike Bailey.
Yes, that was part of the article here. Let's see if I can pull this up here on Fightful. Yes, so this was according to Fightful Select. According to a recent Twitter space, indicated a number of issues that Fightful Select have also heard discovered over a number of months. On the space, it was claimed that MVP had rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, resulting in heat, which something has been echoed by a number of talent for the last couple of months. We haven't particularly heard anything regarding Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin specifically, but it's been well known backstage that MVP dislikes Speedball Mike Bailey. And a number of talent say that MVP made that clear and that he didn't want Hurt Syndicate losing to Jet Speed. They weren't scheduled to lose the Jet Speed, to be noted, but nobody that we spoke to knew a specific reason for MVP's dislike of Mike Bailey. Of numerous people on the talent roster we spoke to, they said that this year was the best they've seen the locker room in years, and that most of the roster dismisses issues. There's been a number of creative pitches. We should be clear following the claims we heard within the company. We aren't sure how far they got. One of the pitches was for FTR to win at All In to start a redemption story. FTR was pitched to face Swerve and Ospreay as well, but Ospreay's injury derailed that. FTR would then go on to face Cope and Christian down the line. The claim internally was that Hurt Syndicate said no to losing to FTR at both All In and Forbidden Door. Instead, MVP has stated that the team preferred to lose the championships to younger teams and talent. MVP's personal preferences were that of Gates of Agony, the Outrunners, and Private Party. There was also discussion that there would have been open to losing to Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay, but we're told that due to Ospreay's neck injury, that wasn't much a consideration. So that's the main crux of it all there, Robert. What do you think? You have a relationship with MVP. MVP is one of my favorite. He's a big Steely Dan fan. So what are your thoughts on it?
MVP is a very smart guy. MVP understands the business, not just the Hurt business or the Hurt Syndicate. The notion that you're going to build up the Hurt Syndicate and have them ultimately lose those tag titles means it needs to be impactful. It needs to be meaningful. It needs to be a significant moment. I had thought that FTR were going to win the tag titles simply because I thought that it was going to be MJF turning on the Hurt Syndicate to help them. If this was not in furtherance of a bigger story and it was just Hurt Syndicate lose and FTR gets the titles again, it doesn't mean anything. If a younger team wins, think back to one of the most impactful moments in all of AEW was Private Party beating the Young Bucks 5 years ago. And we thought this is going to be a launching pad for them. Nothing really ever came of it. Gates of Agony are a really talented duo. I'm glad they're getting an opportunity right now with Ricochet to get a spotlight on them. I've been saying that those are dudes who absolutely deserve a little bit of focus. And the idea of it going to Swerve and Ospreay is, now you're having two guys who are basically at a world title level winning the tag titles versus FTR just winning the belts again. I think that the thing with AEW is if someone comes in there with a strong opinion, they're perceived as being difficult when in reality, it's them trying to make the product better. And what we're all about, making our product better. And that's why we are here every Monday through Friday at noon Eastern on a plethora of platforms, including the WWE Creative_ISH X account, the @Dominic D'Angelo X account, the @SE Scoops X account, and on YouTube on Rumor and Innuendo and ad-free shows. So on behalf of the man who was kind enough to let Charlotte stand in an apple crate so she looked taller than him, Dominic D'Angelo, I'm Robert Karpelis. Best of luck in your future endeavors.
Guys, just so you know, I'm really tall.